works of art themselves. And I picked the best one for my own book, but this is in Hungarian, so I only have one left of this. And I have one book of translation from Hungarian by Katalin Mezei, Song Offerings. It's a beautiful cover. And then another great sketch I used for my collection of the French symbolists, Baudelaire, Verlaine, and Rimbaud in my translation. And I will read a short poem by Baudelaire, and I try to pick not one of his more grotesque poems.
Paul is a surrealist poem.
Sometimes.
I will not bore you with too many poems, but and I didn't know what to pick until I heard this afternoon. I don't know how many of you were listening to QXR, the live broadcast of the Metropolitan Opera, and had La Bohème on it. And it's one of my favorites. In fact, I saw it once in 1976, and with Pavarotti and Caballé, Montserrat Caballé, and that performance, I was, in a tizzy, the whole thing in 3 hours, and I could just see everybody in the audience were just, enthralled, a special thing. And I wrote this poem about the occasion, and the title and the first line is based on this saying that I could not track down. Nobody can tell me where it came from, but it says the opera is not over until the fat lady sings. And of course, both Caballé and Pavarotti were so fat when they tried to, embrace it was kind of hard, but it didn't matter, they looked so beautiful, and so, and I thought that this is the perfect occasion to read this poem. And that fat lady sings, but it's not over even after the fat lady sings, if the fat lady is Montserrat Caballé and she sings Mi chiamano Mimi, and the fat tenor is Luciano Pavarotti, who sings Che gelida manina, like they did back in 1976 one evening at the Met, when the chandeliers turn into a snowfall of goosebumps. The seats burst into mellifluous bloom of cheers. Every note soared as a star in the extra dark bohemian night, and the curtain burned up in shame for trying to put an end to a story that was never to end, but to go on, carrying the whole house past the slender storyline of a romance to a special stage where it is not over when the fat lady sings, because when she sings, she pours out the endless strands of a melody, and she weaves them into a love story between Mimi and Rodolfo, and more, a love story between the fat lady and Mimi, between the fat singers and the arias glowing on their faces, between the drama and the music, between the tune-drunk audience and the nectar of opera, between the traffic noise of life outside and the music within. Because when the fat lady sings, everyone who listens turns into a miniature live opera house where the fat lady never stops singing and the fat tenor never stops answering her call. And the two of them never stop becoming younger and more beautiful bohemians every day.
I wish.
And, well, for a change, I read this by Baudelaire, a short sonnet to a Creole lady in a scented land caressed by the sun under the palm grove's purple-hued canopy with eyes turned idle. I happened to run into a Creole maiden of mystery. Pale though warm, the brown enchantress had a bearing that spoke of noble ways. She was tall and lithe like a huntress, with serenity and boldness in her gaze. The rivers of Seine and Loire enclose a land of glory where a tour is truly grand. Go and grace our ancient castles there. You would inspire our poets' hearts to 1,000 sonnets in shaded parks and enslave them all with your glare. That's Baudelaire. Well, from this poem, this book, I just read a little introductory song. It's called a song. I cannot abide the smell of fire, yet I am dying forsaken pyre. With the flames I don't compete. It is myself that I defeat. In every smoke I am to expire. That's this Hungarian lady. It's her picture, and she put this Hungarian book together for me. And
That was kind of short, but would you mind reading that one again?
this short one.
Please.
Yeah. It is very, very dense and very.
I just take another hit.
Okay. I cannot abide the smell of fire, yet I am dying. I am a dying, forsaken pyre. With the flames I don't compete. It is myself that I defeat. In my smoke I am to expire.
Thank you.
The books are also here too.
I highly recommend this book, she's wonderful.
And the book's here.
And perhaps I just finished with one of my poems that I wrote a long time ago, and I regarded as my arts poetica, but since then I have a better one in this book, but this old one I know by heart, so I have to recite that if it.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, just
It's
go loud.
life. It's life.
Go loud.
Oh, they're outside.
Customers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
paying customers.
Yep.
They're not
Yeah.
coming in.
They're on their
okay.
way.
This poem is about my love of nature and poetry. And it's, books are all the friends I need and all the friends I've got, whether they are dressed in green or naked to the knot. Dressed they are and dressed they come from the same old mold, created for the poets I like, the sacred poets of old. When the wind hums in the woods, it's the same old tale. And old tales are what I like best, for they never fail. They never fail to take me up on their knotted lines to the view of other hills, where my stutter rhymes, where oaks and beeches give the call in the same old tongue, calling me to join them in their sacred song. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much.